I speak for myself. I also speak for other people than myself. There is behavior I cannot tolerate with, and I cannot stand by, and that behavior is the polluting of genuine revolutionary science with dogmatism, with ignorance, and perverting the actual message and the actual truth of the matter that I try and get out there, and many other people who I collaborate with, you know, talk with, and get messages out of. I cannot stand by that, and those who do this aren't Maoists, and you aren't my friends. You are an issue I have to deal with because it makes my job more complicated than it has to be. First Worldist Red Guards aren't Maoists, they are Gonzaloists. They are a reason why MLM in certain circles is treated like a joke. I have studied Gonzalo thought and the principally Maoist tendency. I have literature from Peru, and that conflicts with your idea of the universality of Gonzalo thought. I respect the Peruvian experiment, and I have massive respect for all of the Peruvian comrades that I have the pleasure of talking to. The simplification of a revolutionary science into a misplaced dogma from a half-baked interpretation of genuinely revolutionary Peruvian theories is not forgivable. The lazy polemics against revolutionaries such as Joma, who laid the foundations for our modern Maoist struggle, is revisionist, completely so. The Avakianite clique who Gonzalez claim to despise but replicate the behavior of, when as well as when they replicate it, do it less successfully than the RCP. The silencing of parts of Maoist theory that conflict with your bubble, the revolutionary potential of the lumpen proletariat, the United Front, and the attacks against the adventurism that you engage with, that actively shifts people away from Maoism. You are not revolutionary because you march and attack right wingers and revisionists, even if I find some of these revisionists distasteful myself. There is colonial behaviour in ignoring black and indigenous voices by calling them identity opportunists. This is whiteness. A lot of the cases you tokenize the ones that will actually listen to you. Premier Lois, aka Matthew, is a white leftist adventurist and a con artist. If we ever needed to broker with these LARPing Gonzaloists, the only broker MRN and the Maoists as a whole would ever trust is the Black Internationalist, and only the Black Internationalist. You are LARPers and are nothing like the actual on-the-ground effort of the Peruvian communists. Most of them think you are a prank. In the first world we know better. You engage in acts that, if not genuinely being COINTELPRO, make you seem enough like COINTELPRO that it doesn't make a difference. This is common knowledge among people who are actually engaged in the struggle. That you have stolen property from black Maoists and even black people, black communists that I have difficulty with and have contention with, but we cannot afford to be stealing from people who will help us when the time for building a genuine movement comes. You guys make tactical alliances with right wingers in order to pull up your version of Maoism. Your doxing of Black Red Guard is unforgivable, and you did this because he was in one of the parties that saw what LARP is. This is not a complete endorsement for the people, but I know that they do genuinely good actions, and I know other people who would vouch for that as well. And when people are being stopped and are being harassed online and in real life, that is not the actions of a communist. And that anti-communist actions are anti-communist actions, no matter if you wave a red flag around. There is anti-Semitism in which you engage with, which is why a lot of you hold up the Trotskyist Gaylordism, because you think that self-hating Jews are the ideal anti-Zionists. Anti-Zionism is Judaism. Zionism is founded on anti-Jewishness. There is neo-colonialism that you enforce in by screaming trans rights at ultra-Orthodox Jewish communities. There is a public condemnation of Islamophobia whilst simultaneously trashing Islam and religion every chance you get. The federated MLM cadres, which I represent, hold no ill will towards Black Red Guard. We have issues with him, but he is a real person. As for MRN, we reaffirm hands off Black Red Guard and hands off Missouri, as well as also hands off the Arizona Rebellion and the Bundists. There isn't a compromise. The federated MLM cadres worldwide denounce the federated MLM cadres worldwide denounce the intersectional Maoist Matthew, the white leftist adventurous. Matthew, you are a brilliant manipulator. Basically, nothing you say is true, and you are innocent. You are guilty until proven innocent. The stuff that I have heard that you've done, and I don't have 100% proof, but I know some of it has been done, is unforgivable. Death to fake Maoism. Long live the third stage, Marxism, Leninism, Maoism. Respect to Gonzalo, Cison, as well as all of the others in the struggle that have actively fought for revolution. Maoism is primarily fought in the third world. That is where the struggle is concentrated. We are a small part of that, and it is our job to try and make that struggle easier and struggle for revolution when possible. Maoism is an anti-white ideology. Whiteness cannot coexist with Maoism, and there are actions that are neo-colonialism that Gonzalez engaged with. I wish to vindicate RIM. I wish to vindicate the organizations within RIM, the PCP, the CPP, the Naxals, all of them. And my job gets harder when there is both positive and negative misinformation. And I will say that MLs do not understand the Peruvian struggle, as well as a lot of other struggles, especially the Philippines. And I will not excuse that. But tackling right deviationists is another day. But yeah. I cannot forgive revolution having this sour poison injected into its veins, this genuinely beautiful culmination of Marxist history that I am proud to try and represent. But yeah, I will vindicate RIM. I will write Maoist theory, and I will try and keep the struggle going as far as I can fucking take it. And I will do this. And I will take out anything that gets in my way of actually vindicating Maoism. Viva Guerrilla Popular. Long live Marxism, Leninism, Maoism. And death to fake Maoism.